Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Janelle. For today's video, we're going to be defining my rating system. And originally I was going to say that my rating system was changing, but in all actuality, I never truly defined what my rating system actually was. So today, we're going to be getting really specific on what kinds of ratings that I'm going to be giving books in the future, and also be looking at books in the past that I've rated and see if anything's gonna change. But in all actuality, I've been rating books on how I've been kind of feeling, and there's a lot of books that I wasn't really sure what kind of rating to give them, so I just gave them a rating that fit the best, but I really wasn't sure what I really wanted to rate it. So my rating system isn't actually going to change, it's only being defined, and that's why some of my ratings will change. And we'll be going through all of the books that I'm going to change the ratings for, and I'll tell you exactly why I'm going to change those ratings. Also, I'm super new to reading. I only started my reading habit last year, so I'm still trying to figure out what kinds of books that I like and which ones that I don't like. Lately I've been noticing that I've been giving a lot of really high reviews, but that's only because I've been reading some really good books just to catch up to everyone, because there's a lot of really great books out there that I still haven't read yet. The fact of the matter is, these books have all been really good because I just knew that they were really good from the reviews that they already had. That's why I've been giving a lot of high ratings lately, and some of those will obviously be changing because of the new rating system, but that's another disclaimer that I feel like needs to be said. So pretty much I've been giving high ratings for a lot of things, but that's only because they're already good, but also I need to change some of them. I feel like I should also mention that I have a list of favorites books, and the books that I give 5-star ratings don't necessarily get put on the favorites list. I feel like favorites is like above 5-star, like it's 5-star, but also like it's a personal favorite of mine, so I feel like I should point that out, because there's some books that I'm like, okay, yeah, this is definitely a 5-star book, but I also related to it on a deep personal level, so I should add it to the favorites list. So I guess with that, I should start off with the 5-star review. 5-star books, I feel like they should be books that I'm completely obsessed with, books that I'll be thinking about for a very long time, and also I think they should be books that I plan on rereading, because there's some books out there that are like good, but they're not necessarily books that I would read ever again. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, that was a really entertaining book, and now I'm done reading it, and that's it. But I feel like 5-star books are books that I truly want to reread. Like, I want to relive these kinds of moments all over again, and also just books that keep making me think, you know? So I kind of feel like from now on, whenever I rate a book, it might change within like a week or two, just because there's some books that I won't actually know if I'm going to be thinking about them later on until there's a little bit of time that's been passed. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe that my ratings will change a little bit after a couple of weeks of reading them. A 4-star rating is gonna be books that I really loved, but they just didn't blow me away, you know? They're gonna be books that I really loved and that I thought were objectively good, but not necessarily books that I'm totally obsessed with. So these will also be books that I found very little issues with, and books that are genuinely pretty good. And I feel like a lot of books will fall into this category. I feel like this one will be the one that I give the most ratings for. My camera just cut off and I had been talking for the last 5 minutes, but apparently it didn't record it. 3-star books are books that I found that they were just plain old good. I didn't think they were that great, but I also didn't find anything truly terrible about them. Like, I didn't love it, and I also didn't hate it. They're just plain old good. 2-star books are books that I had multiple issues with, or they really dragged on. Like, it was just very difficult for me to keep picking this book back up because I was just not interested in this book at all. I don't foresee myself giving out that many 2-star ratings, just because if I don't really like picking up a book, I'm probably just gonna DNF it. And the same goes for 1-star ratings. So 1-star ratings are just absolutely horrendous. Like, who wrote this book? Because I just want to talk. But seriously, I just feel like these books should never be recommended to anyone, and I'm going to unhaul this book as soon as I can. So I don't foresee myself giving out any 2 or 1-star ratings, because why would I waste my time reading a book that I don't like? So most of my ratings will be within the 3 to 5-star range, which I feel like is the case for a lot of people, except maybe like book reviewers and stuff. Like, professional book reviewers. So that's my rating system. We've already defined it, and this is gonna help me for the future for whenever I'm unsure of what rating to give. I've already listed a bunch of questions for when I'm not sure, which is gonna be like, did this book blow me away? Or would I want to reread this book? Or am I completely obsessed with this book? Do I feel like I'm gonna be thinking about this for a long time? That sort of thing. And the issues I've been mostly having is with rating between a 4-star and a 5-star. So we'll see as I talk about some of the books that I've changed. So now let's get into the books that I've changed their ratings for. It's not a lot, thankfully, but I do want to point these out because you're gonna see my rating change on Goodreads and be like, what the heck is happening? Unfortunately, the people who aren't subscribed to this channel that are on my Goodreads are gonna be like, what is happening? But for you guys that are watching this video right now, you'll know exactly why. The first book that I changed the rating for is The Turn of the Screw, and I rated this a 2.5 out of 5 stars. That's because this book really dragged, and honestly, I cannot really point out what exactly happened in this book. It was just like really confusing. I tried to make the excuse that the writing was just really old, but there's some books that I read that were actually older than this book. So yeah, really did not like reading this book. And what's funny is that it was such a short book that it should not have dragged. Like, it should have been like a quick read, but I just found myself not wanting to pick up this book ever. The next book that I changed is Sharp Objects, and I rated this one a 4 stars. And the reason why I changed it to a lower rating is because I found that it was a really great book, like really great. I had no issues with this book, but it's just not something that I foresee myself coming back to ever. Like, it's just like a really good book, and I'm glad I finished it. And also, after the fact, like after a few weeks, I didn't find myself thinking about this book that much after I finished it. So I think it deserves a 4 star. The next book whose ratings that I want to change is Children of Virtue and Vengeance. And I want to rate this one a 3 star instead of a 4 star because there is a major plot line in this book that I actually really did not like. And I briefly mentioned it when I gave the wrap up for this book, but in all reality, I really hated this. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but basically what this person did was like completely out of character for this person. Like, I just don't see the justification in this event happening. So I think this deserves a 3 out of 5 stars. There is another book that's coming out soon of this book, so hopefully this character gets a redemption arc or something, because I was really rooting for this person, and the fact that she did what she did, it just like really angered me. Not only did, like, it wasn't like in a good kind of angry, it just like, it didn't make sense to me, you know? The next book that I changed the rating for was The Night Swim, and this is for the same reason as Sharp Objects, where I find this book really great and I found it really entertaining, but there's just like this book is great, it's really entertaining, but I just don't see myself ever coming back to it, you know? And I also don't really think about it that often. And then I have a couple of books from last year that I want to talk about because I will be changing some of those ratings as well. I was super new to reading at the time, so I really wasn't sure what I was rating what and why I was giving certain ratings, but thankfully there's only a few that I really want to change the ratings for. The first one is The Alchemist, and I'm not going to change the rating for this one yet because I do have The Alchemist right here. You might be able to see it, it's like in the corner right here. But I do plan on rereading The Alchemist, and I think it would be appropriate if I changed the rating after I read it. But I actually really want to rate it a 4 star because it's not a book that I absolutely loved, but there's also nothing wrong with it either. So as of right now, it's still a 5 star. I'm gonna read it again and see if it still deserves the 5 star, but I'm thinking it's gonna be a 4 star, but we'll see after I read it again. The next book that I want to change the rating for is Pet Sematary, and I want to give this one a 4 out of 5 star. And this is the exact same reason as before, that I found this book really great, really entertaining, all around a good book. There's nothing wrong with this book. It's just not something that I'm ever gonna come back to. I read it, I can say that it's good, and then that's it. And I feel like that's how I'm gonna continue to rate these 4 star ratings, and I feel like there's just gonna be a lot of 4 star ratings out there just because of that. And then finally, I'm going to change the rating of Call Me By Your Name, which is gonna be a 4 star because I'm not totally obsessed with this book. I knew it from the moment that I read it that it didn't deserve a 5-star, but I also didn't find anything wrong with it. But also, there is something wrong with it. So here's the thing. It's set in Italy. The kid is 17 years old. And I don't know why I didn't point this out before, but I actually felt this way when I first read this book. I was like, damn, he's only a kid. So as beautiful as this book is, and the setting is incredible, everything in this book is so poetic, very well written book, but can we please not write about children anymore? Yeah, so that's why I wasn't completely obsessed with this book, because it's just, I don't think it's right to be writing about a kid having a relationship with a college student, you know? I feel like even 4 stars is too high considering the theme of this book, but I'm still gonna be thinking about like whether or not it should get a 4-star, and if you want to see like what I have it rated as currently, you can go check out my Goodreads, but I think I'm gonna rate it a 4-star. We'll see if I lower it as time goes on. Anyway, that is it for all of the ratings that have changed, and my new rating system, which is not new. I mean, I guess it's new, but it's not like anything that's changed because I'm just like defining it right now. Hopefully this will help you give ratings to your books if you're one of those people that actually does give ratings. And I think from now on I'm going to be a little bit more clear in what I expect from books, and also I really just want to be more reflective in the books that I read. Like, I don't just want to consume, I also want to like assess where I'm at with a book and how I feel about a book, which lately it's just been me just being like, oh yeah, this book is good, this book is great, this book is not so great, and all that. But I want to be more articulate in how I feel about a book, so I feel like defining this rating system will help me a lot in being more specific about what I like and what I don't like about books. And not only will this help me out in the future in finding more books that I will enjoy, but it'll also help you guys out, because I'm going to be talking about these books obviously, and you're going to be listening to what I say about these books and how I feel about these books, and make your own judgment about that. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know it's like kind of weird. It's not really something that I don't think anyone really talks about. I think people talk about how they rate things, but I don't think people talk about how their ratings change or how they feel after the fact of the books that they read. If you have any questions about my rating system, or if you have any book recommendations, video ideas, anything like that, please leave a comment down below. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, because that helps me out so much. And if you're new to my channel, definitely subscribe, because I post new videos every Wednesday and every Sunday as of right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!